let's do our extrusion. I'm going to select that face, hold down Shift, select, select, select. I selected all of those by holding down Shift and clicking and selecting the faces. Alright, now what I'm going to do is hold down Shift and right mouse button at the same, not at the same time, but hold down Shift and also hold down the right mouse button. Okay, and extrude face. Okay, again, hold down Shift, right mouse button, extrude face. Okay, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a footprint, which you see here. So it's under offset, I believe. Yeah. Good. Offset. You see? Alright, this is what I mean by a footprint. It's gonna lay a footprint, and then we're gonna do things off of this. So we did that. Alright, I'm gonna undo that. Okay, and I'm gonna again pretend we're back to here. Right click and hold, select face, and select that. Hold down Shift, select. Hold down Shift, also hold down right mouse button, extrude face. And we're going to place our first footprint under offset. I'm going to put something like 0.05. Okay. And these things are really sensitive. You want to go by like 0.05 kind of increments. Okay. So from here, what we're going to do is I'm going to push down inward, and students will forget this step where they're just going to yank it down. This is another common mistake. Whatever you do, avoid doing things like this, because in real life things are not going to be like this. There's some meat to each face that turns inward, like a cardboard box. It's not going to just be perfectly like this, like origami. So avoid doing things like this. Right, I'm going to undo that. Okay, and from here, right, I'm just gonna press W again, right, just to get out of that tool. Okay, and then I'm gonna just hold on right mouse button, object mode, and get out of that. Right, so here we are. Now I'm gonna select it again, and you see how we have our poly extrude face 1. I'm gonna go right click and hold face, and remember that it selected these faces. Now I'm gonna go do another extrude. Shift, right click and hold, extrude face. Now I'm gonna pull down, maybe around here. It all depends on how deep you want it, but whatever you do, here's another mistake that students also do. They'll like yank it too far down. You'll end up something like this, right? I'm gonna go here, shading, turn off backface culling. Okay, and I'm gonna hide my infinity wall. This is why these things are good. And I'm gonna show you this mistake. See, be careful with things like this. You see the black face? That tells us that, we shouldn't be seeing this, right? Avoid things like this. See, you see this black face? That's because we penetrated through the geometry too far deep, right? Be mindful of things like this. I'm gonna pull back up carefully, and I use that arrow. Right, I'll press 4, and see, here we are. Press W, so I want to get out of that tool. Press 5, but we're still in components, so I'm gonna hold on right mouse button, object mode, boom. See, we made our first box. All right, so creating your first bevel. Okay, from here, this is what your exercise, what this exercise is going to show. We make, before we had this, right, I'm going to do Alt 5, and we're going to add these bevels. See that? I want to turn off my grid for now, right here, remember? Okay, so we're going to make this, bevels. I'm going to grab this, and I'm going to press H to hide it. That's another hotkey you're going to want to know. H. H is to hide whatever object. And then to bring it back, you select that one in here. It'll be grayed out, means it's hidden. And press H, brings it back. Press H, hides it. Alright, anyway, whatever. So we're here, where we left off, and we're going to add bevels. Here's our history, remember. I'm going to go hold down right click and edge. Okay. Every edge, okay, every edge that I that's a side, right, like that, I'm gonna add a bevel. So I have to visualize what areas need bevels, like here, here, you know, where the corners, where they have corners, basically like that. So what do we do? Well, remember what I taught you, how to select edges, a whole bunch of them. You, like this one, double click, it selects the loop. See how it loops around? And I also want this one, so I'm going to hold down shift, and you see how it turns into a plus sign. Double click, selects the loop. Okay, press 4 just to make sure you don't grab anything else. Press 5 to go back, and I want these corners, so hold down shift, double click. Okay, and if you notice, it continued here and it continued down. See? And I don't like this tool being shown right now. I just want to press Q, as in cue ball, to hide it, so I can just see better to show you guys. Then I'm going to do a bevel down here, hold down shift, double click. Oh, I guess it didn't do that one, so I have to manually click some of these. Okay, that one I double click to get this edge. Then I'm gonna, over here, hold down shift, double click, and if you notice, it wraps all the way around. Okay, and over here, shift, double click, and you notice it wrapped down to here. And then here I'm gonna double click, shift, double click. Got that section. I'm still holding down shift, double click, shift, double click, shift, double click. I'm gonna do shift, double click, and it goes all the way down. Okay, I think I got everything that I need. One of the things to learn in this tutorial is be precise with the edges you're gonna select when you perform a bevel. You don't want to make bevels on edges that you don't want. That's gonna sooner or later ruin your model. Alright, so I'm gonna press 4. I'm just carefully looking around, just helping myself to visualize that I did not select edges that I shouldn't be. Okay, press 5. Alright. Okay, and I want this also selected, these guys, and I'll show you why. Okay, so from here, all right, how long was that? 6 minutes. I'm going to hold on Shift, and then I'm also going to hold down the right mouse button. And this new tool that you use a lot is your bevel edge right here. Bevel edge. And let go. And boom. And that's how you perform a beveled edge, only on the edges that you selected. See? You see, remember over here, it split it, so you have a nice bevel in the corners. Okay, and that's what that is. And this here, there's a little box where you can kind of fine tune it. This is basically the same as this. You see this here? It's history. It says here poly bevel 1 for this object, bevel. Okay, the main thing in this one I want to share with you is that I need to share is here. I believe it's fraction to fine tune how tight or how broad the bevel is. Maybe what, 0.4? You see that? It's a tighter bevel. Bevel 0.1. Super tight bevel where, you know, or you're thinking, why did I even bother to make it? So I go if I go right mouse button and hold object mode, I'm gonna click outside just to show you that tight bevel. And then I'm gonna press Alt 5 so you can see it. Super tight. You know, depending on the visual style that you're looking for, you know, if it's like a cartoony, you know, more fun type of model, you'll have broader bevels. But if it's more industrial and real life, you have tighter bevels like this. And yeah, that's what I learned from my previous supervisor years ago, that it stuck with me. But so let's say that you don't like the bevel, right? You select it, you go back to the poly bevel, and from here you just under the fraction, don't mess around with the offset. You get confused because it's decimals. It's the fraction, because you're fractionally beveling it. So let's say place it to 0.25, and you're making a bit wider of a bevel. See? Only mess with that. Later on you can mess with the segments, but I'll show you. Segments, if you set it to 2, watch what happens. It makes it does this. See? But that's for later. You'd have to know how to control bevels, because it can get out of control real quick. So again, go back here. For now I'm just going to set it to 1, and I'm going to set the fraction to 0.35 or 0.5. See how visually it just has a different feel. Okay, then you'll also notice, last thing I want to share is that you see how some spots it starts to look weird, the shading. You see that? Before it was pretty faceted, but all of a sudden it has the contour shading is changed here and here. You see? You may or may not notice it, or maybe you like it, depending. But after a certain point, it'll start to act weird. So when that happens, you select it, you go to poly bevel, and under the smoothing angle, you put in a lower number, maybe 25, like 5 units lower. So watch what happens. See that? See, now it's more faceted. So that's smoothing angle. You'll be using this a lot too. Sorry, alright, so that was 11 minutes overall. You'll be messing around with the fraction increments. Here's a mistake. If you put a large number like 1, is a maximum you can do it. You see what's happening? You see that? After a while, if you do say even 1.2, maximum limit is 1, but if you go over the maximum limit of 1, it'll do this. This is another mistake I want to share with you. With bevels, you know, at the most you could bevel, like I said, at 1. Anything more than that, it's gonna, you know, collide into each other, like 1.1. See? So between like 0.5 or 0.25, see? That's what you want. Fractional. And then segments, you can mess with that a little bit later. And only other thing is this, the smoothing angle. And that's about it for this. Okay, good. And that's it. Bye.